listening to The Observing Eye. Pirate radio for the mind. Coming at you fresh from the computer hell cabin.
Hello, you beautiful lot. It's Friday, the 7th of April, episode 13 of The Observing Eye. And it's fucking Good Friday. Yes, Good Friday. Hope you've had your toasted hot cross buns this morning. It's the first time in years I've actually remembered to do it. But first, if you've been here before, you'll know the routine. Let's take a moment to reflect on the good things that have happened this week. And now a moment to think about the not so good. I'm going to be very honest. I have been struggling to think about a topic of conversation for this particular episode. Normally there's something that happens in the week, something I read or something that I experience that I think, yeah, okay, that'll be really cool. We can discuss that. This week's been really quiet, actually, in a very nice sort of way. Then I decided, it's Easter weekend. It's 2 days off, sandwiched between 2 bank holidays. Let's think about the art of doing nothing. Let's talk a little bit about doing nothing. Now, I've spoken of this before. You've all been here, I'm sure, before with me, and I'll talk about this quote from Alan Watts where he says, "We're human beings, not human doings." And I think that's really relevant this weekend because we've all got an enforced, well, not all of us, sadly some of us do have to still do the grind, but the majority of us will have 4 days where we don't really have to think about work or anything. We've got some time to ourselves. And it's an opportune moment to be rather than do. So what is the art of doing nothing? Now for this, I'm going to borrow from the Italians. Italian culture, I'm a big fan of. They have this idea called il dolce far niente, which is their art of doing nothing. And they're really, really good at it. The issue I find, and I'm speaking from a distinctly UK perspective, as you can probably gather from my accent, we are very good at doing. There has to be a sense of purpose and intent. We have to be busy running around doing things, because if we aren't doing things, then, what's the point? What's the point in all this if we aren't doing? We have, I don't know, I feel like there's an almost sort of Protestant-like mindset that toil is good for the soul. And I heartily fucking disagree with that statement, with that sentiment. So the Italians, il dolce far niente, love the word anyway, sounds amazing. Italian always sounds great when as a language. So thank you to Dante Alighieri for his Divine Comedy, where he picks the most poetic of the Italian dialects, and it was chosen as the language for Italy back in the day when he wrote his Divine Comedy. Apparently, but go and Google that. Fact check all these things, people. Il dolce far niente. Say it with me. What a beautiful word. Il dolce far niente. Yes, the art of doing nothing. It begins, I think, with the perspective of what work is. There's a real deliberateness and a real mindfulness that the Italians bring to things. Even, simple things that we do on autopilot, like eating, There is a deliberateness to the act of eating. There is a mindfulness in the process. There is a being present with what we're doing. And it's not so much that we're doing nothing, it's that we're enjoying the moment that is not toil. there's us. I count the UK in this, but the very American mindset of philosophy coined by, or at least referenced by Mark Zuckerberg, which is move fast and break things. It's not how we do things in Italy. It is not the way of il dolce fa niente. We don't move fast. We don't break things. We're deliberate. We're considered. We're mindful. And there's a real presence in that. So the art of doing nothing isn't about just sitting on your ass, scratching your balls, watching television all day. The art of doing nothing is considered and deliberate and meaningful and mindful and being present. We're enjoying the moment. You could think about, I'm just laying in a hammock in my garden. I know that sounds luxurious. I don't have a hammock. I really want one. But anyway, you're lying in a hammock in a garden and it's a beautiful sunny day and there's clear skies and you're reading a book. That's doing nothing, in the sense that you can be mindful of how relaxing that experience is, how wonderful the day is in terms of the weather and the temperature. The warm sun hitting your face, just sitting there in that with nature around you, listening, being present with the sounds of nature, being mindful of it, being present and deliberate and considered in reading this book that you have in your hands and taking it in and really thinking about it. That's il dolce fa niente. That's the art of doing nothing. It's being present. It's being mindful. It's being deliberate. That's real being, though. That's real being, where we are intentionally present in ourselves, in our awareness of the moment. That's what it is. Don't ever think that doing nothing is wasting time, is inefficient. It's only inefficient when you switch your mind off, when you aren't present, when you aren't mindful. Sitting there watching TV all day is not being present. That's being distracted. You're being distracted from the moment by something. And then all of a sudden, 5-6 hours have passed and we're like, oh, I've wasted my day. It's wasted because you haven't been in it. You've not been participating in the day. When we deliberately do nothing, we participate in the act of doing nothing. And that's the trick. We're deliberate in it. I keep using these words: deliberate, thoughtful, mindful, considered. These are the, I could say mantra. These are the mantra of the art of doing nothing. It is to be present. So as it's Easter and, we've got a bit of time, we haven't got to toil necessarily, although there's always those DIY projects that seem to come up out of nowhere over Easter. Have you been to B&Q's on a bank holiday weekend? Jesus Christ. It's like a rugby union match in there. But we should, think about, I say should, I hate that word. Ignore that part. We're going to block that out. I would invite you, that's what I'm going to say. I would invite you this weekend, as it's Easter, to participate in the art of doing nothing. Take an hour and deliberately do nothing and be present in the act of doing nothing. Really experience that hour mindfully with your awareness in the action. The true spirit of mindfulness is the actor. That's you, your awareness. The actor becomes the action being the thing you're doing, obviously. So that's my challenge for you, my invitation for you this Easter bank holiday weekend, to embrace il dolce fa niente, and in the true spirit of the Italians, really enjoy a set period of relaxation, some time for you. And if you find that there's some anxiety that crops up, some guilt that, I should be doing something, I can't take time for myself, breathe through it. If that anxiety comes up, that's all of the preconditioning, the programming that tells you, I need to be doing things. I can't take time for myself. Yes, you fucking can. You can do whatever the fuck you want within reason, so long as you don't, cause suffering to anything else. You're in control of that. You're the master of that. That's your choice. You can decide that it's okay for you to sit for an hour and just enjoy some time for you to de-stress, to decompress, to relax, to be present, to be deliberate, to be considered, to be mindful. And that's all I've got to say, really, on that. Have a wonderful Easter, everybody. Enjoy the long weekend. Gorge yourselves on chocolate and roast dinners and get a hammock and a good book and just wrap yourself in it in your garden because, putting up posts is a ball ache. And then, just take it easy. That's it. Have a wonderful one. And I'll catch you next Friday when I roll out a podcast that will be of some as yet to be determined subject. As some on some. Oh, come on. It's Good Friday. Leave me alone. Much love, everybody. And I'll catch you soon.
You've been listening to The Observing Eye. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope that you found it useful. And if you're interested in any more of my writings or work around psychology and philosophy and general day-to-day living, please go and take a look at my Substack, which is theobservingeye.substack.com, and that's I as in the letter, not I as in the gelatinous organ through which you see. Take care, everybody. Much love, and I'll see you soon.